All right, Shalom. This is your brother Yawanathan. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. I want to give double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And I want to say Shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right, may the blessing of election be upon your house. All right, today we're going to talk about imaginations. All right, your imagination, especially when you're reading, is pivotal to your spiritual growth and cognition. Cognition is the process in which you take in information. Now, before we get started, I want to go to Revelation 1 and 3. It says, Blessed is he that readeth. Shalaki. Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy. And prophecy is such a major thing in our walk. Okay. It says the elect, all right, those who are going to be delivered, they're going to be occupied in prophecy. When you go to Revelation 19 and 10, it says the Spirit of our Lord is the Spirit of prophecy. All right. Revelation 1 and 3 again from the top. Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. Now let's pair that. Let's go to Sirach, the 50th chapter, and the 28th verse. Okay. This is Sirach 50, and let me see if I want to start. Yeah, just get straight to the point. Sirach 50 and 28 says, Blessed is he that shall be exercised in these things, and he that layeth them up in his heart, his mind, lab, shall become wise. All right. And our goal is to become wise so that we're equipped to deal with the wiles of the devil. Along with wisdom, man, that's that putting on that whole armor of the Most High, right? So when we're reading, and you read these accounts of various men and how they dealt with particular situations, what you should do is insert yourself in that situation and ask yourself questions. Well, how would I have responded now in the state that I am? How do I get to the point where I respond in a righteous fashion? What habits do I need to break? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? Actually look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, what are the things that are not my strengths? What are the things I need to clean up? What are my strengths so I could further those, pour into those strengths? There's a video. I might put the link in the description of Elder Ariala. I have a playlist for you guys. It's called Tips from the Lord's Men. And there's about 10 or 11 episodes. And the Elder Ariala here in Dallas, he had a beautiful tip about strengths and weaknesses, okay, within the body. Okay. So imagination allows us to prepare for the things that, are written, that we know are getting ready to come. So to explore possibilities in your mind, like, okay, what is this test that Joseph went through? What would that look like today in our time? What is the test that Elijah went through? What would that look like in our time? How would I respond? Well, of course, we got to walk in faith, but you have to visualize it first. See yourself overcoming it. So, in your just regular everyday to day life, you should be going. We have this. This is a sports term. So if you play sport, yeah. So, ooh, it's a sports term. They say, do your reps game speed. All right. The guys that go game speed. Oh, the baby up. The guys that go game speed. After a while, them doing that every day. When the game time comes, they're able to tap into a different gear because the muscle memory they have of just going hard every day kicks in to where when the lights are on, they're able to push it to another gear. And the Lord is going to be with those who are, on fire and taking those steps towards Him. He's going to give them the extra boost that they needed, even in the faculties that they may be weak in, to overcome, the test or the trials, whatever they may be for that particular brother. They got the other saying, the lights is on, time to perform. Well, your everyday life, You should be moving like the lights are on. So you should be being a light in the world, slowing things down. How how would a righteous man be dealing in my situation in my day to day? How am I spending my time? What are my thoughts looking like on a regular basis? What things can I move around so that my understanding and my growth excels? What things could I be doing if you're amongst a body, a camp, or whatever that could forward and uplift the mission that we're pushing towards? It could be small things, it could be big things, right? But that should be your mindset every day. Game speed. In Ecclesiastes, the ninth chapter, right? In the 10th verse, it says, "Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave, whither thou goest." Now let's look up some of these words here. All right. The word, oh, well, with all thy might, right? With thy might is kach. Okay. And it says, let's see here, vigor, literally force in a good or bad sense. Figuratively, capacity means to produce. So you in this walk, man, you need to be doing something, not cheerleading on the sidelines, doing something to aid and abet the ministry. Also goes down, says ability to be able. A chameleon. Now a chameleon adapts to its environment. Whatever the congregation or the body needs you to do, or whoever it needs you to be, you become that to the best of your ability to help forward the mission. That's selflessness. Okay? So when you're inputting yourself in the scriptures in these examples, it also allows for you to develop the characteristic of being about something bigger than yourself. And that's a lot of people's problem in the world. They can't imagine being about something bigger than themselves. They don't know what it means to move that way. It leads to pride and self-destruction, man. People can become cancerous to everything around them when they don't understand about being a part of something bigger than themselves. You see? So it's gonna be times where you might not want to make a lesson. I'm feeling like shit right now, but I know this is my purpose. I know the only thing that gives me value in this world is my ability to forward the will of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. If I'm not doing this, you know, I'm missile food. People don't understand it. They put their value in things of the world, the occupation, the things that they have, you know, their circle, you know. They put their value in so many things that are going to be burnt to a crisp. But when you're about the Lord and His mission, what ends up happening is everything begins to be added unto you. A lot of those things that I just mentioned, having a good circle around you, having, you're having things, having money. A lot of those things, when you walk uprightly, maybe not all of them, will be added unto you. I'm pretty sure many brothers can attest to that, man. All right, so now we go. That was the biblical usage. Now let's go to the outline. It says strength, power, might, strength of angels. Yeah, man. When you take those steps toward the Lord, He'll put the spirit on His angels to be with you, man, to move you forward through the obstacles in our way. That's why we're going to be able to move mountains in that day. Okay. So again, that first pillar of the imagination. Hey, give me that. Give it to me. Give me that. So the first pillar of imagination, you know, is it allows growth. That visualization allows us to growth, and leading us into the next pillar, man, allows you to problem solve as well. Okay, that's why the scriptures say the things written aforetime were written for our learning. right? Now, the third thing that imagination helps you with, and I might redo this lesson, man, because you know it's hard to speak and breathe right now. I might even do a part two to it. But the third thing uh, that imagination helps you with is communication and empathy. All right, the example I want to use is when the prophet Nathan came to David and gave him that parable about. Actually, let's just go get it. All right, 2 Samuel 12, and we'll just start here at the top. It says, and the Lord sent Nathan unto David, and he came unto him and said unto him, there were two men in one city, one rich and the other poor. The rich man had exceeding many flocks and herds, but the poor man had nothing, save one little ewe lamb, which he had bought and nourished up, and it grew up together with him and with his children. It did eat of his own meat and drank of his own cup, and lay in his bosom, and was unto him as a daughter. And there came a traveler unto the rich man, and he spared to take his own flock and of his own herd to dress for the wayfaring man that was come unto him, but took the poor man's ewe lamb and dressed it for the man that was come unto him. So he took, basically everything this man, the joy, the light in this man's life, right? Verse 5. And David's anger was greatly kindled against the man, and he said to Nathan, as the Lord liveth, the man that have done this thing shall surely die, and he shall restore the lamb fourfold, because he did this thing, and because he had no pity. And Nathan said to David, thou art the man. Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, I anointed thee king over Israel, and I delivered thee out of the hand of Saul, and I gave thee thy master's house and thy master's wives into thy bosom, and I gave thee the house of Israel and of Judah, and if that had been too little, I would moreover have given unto thee such and such things. Wherefore hast thou despised the commandment of the Lord to do evil in his sight, and thou hast killed Uriah the Hittite with the sword, because he sent Uriah to the front of a fierce battle so that he could take his wife. So, really, he was dead, but it was a roundabout way for him to commit adultery, man. He already committed adultery in his heart. So Samuel, and of course the Lord, you know, he's the father of creativity. He put that imagination for Nathan to use that example to David, because Nathan had to come to David in a particular way. He is the king. He put the imagination on Nathan the prophet to give him David that parable so that he could understand the vow, the lowness of the deed that he committed. So within communication, imagination is important as well, especially us being prophets, us making these video epistles every day. So the imagination gives us that foresight. It gives us, we're able to connect particular examples in our life to the scriptures so that the congregation could understand particular things that are written in the scriptures. We're able to, bring things to life and make it real to them. You see? So, imagination is very important, and it must be applied when you're reading and just on your day to day. You have to visualize, like, okay, you know, the lights are on. It's time to perform. You have to visualize, like, hey, man, my conduct is going to be written about one day. What do I want to be written? You know, do you want to be like Lot in Sodom and Gomorrah, who was called a just man? Or do you just want to be like any other nigga that's going to be left hand burnt? All right. So, Abaratazah, the lesson was edifying and you got something from it. Um, so, with that being said, we give all praises once more to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. I want to say shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right. May the blessing of election be upon your house. Shalom.